Hi guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to the channel. So, the developments over the past few days and something that I've personally received today make this video perfect timing to drop and release. So, you've probably seen from the title, this is about the Rico Management sleep token RCA situation going on right now. And it's kind of blowing up. Now, I have received in the past 24 hours a takedown notice of an older video from Rico Management for copyright. Now, I don't know how they managed to do that because there was no copyrighted material in there. There was no music in there. But I'm playing by the rules of this one from at this moment in time, and there's a reason behind it. So, the video that I made was titled Fake DMCA Company Rico Management, and it was uploaded over a year ago now. It was about a year and a half ago. The channel was a lot smaller. The reach was a lot smaller. And the fan base that followed the channel was obviously a lot smaller. And I didn't have the relationship that I now have with certain bands and labels and things like that. So I thought, yeah, 246 views on that video. I'll take it down. Not a problem. I'll play by your rules. And I'll just re-record and upload another one. Because now the channel has got almost quadruple the reach. Almost quadruple the numbers of people subscribed to it. So obviously it's potentially going to go out to quadruple the amount of people. Now, since that video went out, I've received a good few messages from people that have been either struck by this company or emailed by this company. And since I've been able to do my own research and my own work and speak to people that I'm connected with and stuff, I feel like it puts me in a better position than that video back then, to be able to not spread misinformation and to be able to provide facts and obviously my findings. So, Rico Management, yes, I have had my run-ins with them in the past, from 3D printed models and things like that. Now, this was before the active trademark on the Sleep Token logo went live. And when you look into things, and when you look into what it was still based as fan art. I've spoken to solicitors. I was producing something that you physically could not buy from the official store. It was not available for purchase at shows. It was classed as fan art, and it wasn't a like-for-like representation. It was an interpretation of the design. Now, the copyright has been registered, so therefore anything that even resembles it and looks like it can and will be enforced under copyright law. Not an issue with that. Completely fine. Did the band have a problem with it? From my interactions, no. They didn't. They did not mind in the slightest. Now, Rico Management are a third-party DMCA company, and a very, very aggressive one at that. But you would think someone that deals in what primarily is the legal industry as a whole would have a professional-looking website, would have some way to contact them, would have a presence, would have somewhere that you could go and actually deal with them as a company. If you were potentially a label, for instance, and you wanted to go and deal with a company and potentially say to them, we'll pay you guys, you go out and get rid of XYZ. Their website is an absolute joke. So their website is a login page only. When you go to the link provided in their domain emails, because I have dealt with two different people from Rico Management. They call themselves Enforcement 1 and Enforcement 2 at ricomanagement.com. So the domain for the email, anyone can do that. I could go and buy Rico Management UK if it was available and have a domain email address. So Enforcement 1 and Enforcement 2 at ricomanagement.com. They reached out and said and this is where it gets interesting. They reached out to Etsy at the time where the 3D printed file was and said that not that they were representing Sleep Token, not that they were representing RCA Records, not that they were representing anything to do with Future History Management, who are obviously the management company of Sleep Token. No, on their copyright claim, they said that they were Sleep Token, which is incorrect, is false information. They aren't. And now I have more experience, and now I have people that I can speak to. On a valid takedown request or a valid copyright claim, you have to state that you either are the copyright holder or a valid third party representing the claimant, the claim holder, or the client, and it has to have already been put into a claim file with a reference number. It has to have something that you can refer back to should it go to a court, should a person fight it. That would be the reference number. Rico Management aren't doing this. They are literally going to the likes of YouTube, to the likes of Etsy for the digital art creators, to people's Instagrams for cosplayers, and just filing a copyright claim. What Rico Management are doing is fraudulently saying that they are the band. They are not filling in the claim form correctly, which therefore, and again, I am not a solicitor, but I've spoken to a couple of different people who have provided their insight and opinions on this. They have said that if that went to court, if that form was not filled out correctly, or the evidence provided was not satisfactory, if you like, the claim is null and void. Now, there are various different ways in which a copyright claim can be enforced, as we all know. If someone, for instance, is just taking the logo and putting it on a t-shirt and selling it as sleep token official merchandise, they're in breach of copyright. They would lose in court. They are the scumbags, like the Temu people and stuff that are doing it, Wish and all that. You can get them on Wish and Temu and stuff now. But what they're doing with tattoo artists and what they're doing with cosplayers, now, I've got to be very careful how I go about and say how I got this information, because, again, I don't want to necessarily reveal the people that I've spoken to or get myself into any trouble or spread information that was told to me in confidence, so I won't mention any names and things. But the people that I have spoken to have explicitly said that the management company, the label, so therefore the band, because we all know the label and the management company have a massive say, but we all know that the band themselves don't have an issue with this. Cosplayers, fan art, tattoo artists, and believe it or not, people who make reaction videos are to be left alone by Rico Management. Now, I can't say the name of the person, but trust me, that is an official source. That has come from the mouth of someone in the inner circle. Rico Management have been informed by either the label or a management company to leave alone tattoo artists, fan art creators, digital creators and fan art and things like that, so that whole bubble, reaction videos, which I think is incredible because we all know how hard that is to get past and stuff. Again, I'm very lucky. And Rico Management are just completely ignoring this. So if you have received a copyright claim or a takedown notice from this company saying that they are Sleep Token, they're not. They're 100% they aren't. Now, recently in the news, we've just seen that a tattoo artist has had an Instagram claimed and taken down by Rico Management, and a lot of this, how it works, it's not physical people doing this. When the claim is submitted, that is, it is not a physical person that is going into this and going, oh, okay, yeah, it's a bot, it's an algorithm, it's a digital product, if you like. And that's probably where the social media companies need to look. Because once this claim goes through, the bot goes, oh shit, it's Sleep Token. And it gets taken down. However, I think it's fantastic that this tattoo artist has now fought back against this company. And whoever it may be, it doesn't really go into detail. I wouldn't say it was probably the label. I would probably say it's more inner circle management company, because the management company own the rights to the copyrighted logo and things. I mean, that's public information. That's easy enough to find. You just go to the Intellectual Property Office and the trademarks and copyrights and stuff and just search. I think it's up as Rune logo or something like that. And you can see the guy that owns the copyright is the guy that owns Future History Management, which I also understand it not being the actual band members because of the anonymity that they have. Because you're not allowed to use a pseudonym or a stage name on something that is legally protected and legally binding. That's why people were starting to dig through Spotify and Apple Music and were finding the real identities and things were popping up. Because legally, when it comes to copyright and intellectual property, you are not allowed to do that under a pseudonym / stage name, fake identity, whatever it may be. So that is a whole different ball game anyway, sidetracking. But yeah, the Sleep Token logo is owned by a guy who owns Future History Management. And I'm not giving away any inside information here, people. That's all public. But on the Rico Management side, I can tell you explicitly right now that they have told Rico Management to leave alone various different people. I mean, Tokens Den was it called? Or Tokens Eden? There was Tokens Den, wasn't it? It just looked like Tokens Eden or whatever. He was struck and had his Instagram removed for being a cosplayer. Like, I honestly don't know what Rico Management's game is. I don't know what they're looking to gain from this. Because by striking someone who dresses up as a band member that just posts photos, I don't see how that is infringing copyright. I really don't. If anything, that is like me going and buying a Liverpool Football Club shirt, wearing it, and Rico Management striking it for copyright. Like, what? Is that now saying that you can't go and dress up as someone? You can't dress up as Vestal for Halloween to gain copyright. That's how pathetic this is. This is how stupid this is. But I don't mind taking the last video down. It had 264 views. Like I say, I was a lot smaller channel back then. I had a lot smaller reach, and I didn't know as much as I do now. I can 100% say that company filing claims pretending to be, because this is what it says on the form, the claimant's name is down as Sleep Token, which is not true in the slightest. They are if they are representing the band, it must specify on the takedown form, it must say Rico Management or a trading name or a trading style representing Sleep Token with a claim reference number. It has to have already been registered as a claim. Now, that's just what I've been told from people I know in the legal industry and things. You cannot just start throwing copyright claims around left, right, and centre. I could have fought that last one. I could have went appeal. I ain't really that bothered because, again, like I've said, this video and the channel's presence now will have way more effect and it will go a lot further. So for the woman in question who has, let me just see, to get the name for you, she's messaged me through Instagram. Her name is Sophie Deer Tattoo. She messaged me and said that she was using my old video as evidence. And it has been removed, which yes, it has. I just thought, fuck it. I'm not risking a actual strike on a channel for a video that's old, for a video that's barely got any reach, when I can re-record a new one with factual information and hopefully it gets picked up. So, for anyone dealing with these people right now, you are well within your rights to fight them. If you want to. You are well within your rights to appeal. And I'm pretty sure that if you make enough noise and you have the right, I don't know, connections or kind of thing, and you can somehow get through to the management company, they will reverse. They will reverse this claim. I mean, for fuck's sake, people. Does this mean that I'm not allowed this because my arm is now copyright infringement? This tattoo has actually been adapted and drawn to a certain style by my tattoo artist. I gave him an image of the thing that I was kind of looking for, and he messed around with it, because that's a cover-up. So that's custom. That isn't just a straight stencil over. That's been drawn and adapted and moved and everything like that. Yes, it's still Vessel. Yes, that is still their logo. But the people striking tattoo artists, you've got to look at things like, again, using it as an example, if I go out and get the Apple logo tattooed on me because I love iPhones, because I have an iPhone, I'm pretty sure Apple aren't going to come along and be like, we've got to get that removed, we're going to strike that photo because, ooh, copyright. I don't see the point. I don't see what damage it's doing. I don't see how people making Sleep Token tattoos and art and inspired things. Like, you could come at it from the perspective, and I can kind of understand this, of people are making revenue. And that's what they said about the 3D prints, that I was making revenue. And again, I spoke to someone and they said, well, if it wasn't available and it was advertised as fan art under the cosplay banner, which it was, then technically you've done nothing wrong. But it's a grey area, because you are financially gaining off the back of a copyrighted item, which at the time it wasn't. Tattoo artists, again, very, very different. You cannot... It literally goes against so many different things. We're just talking about the sleep token thing here. But you don't see other companies... Again, like, I've got friends that do a lot of tattoos relating to football, like Liverpool tattoos and things like that. You don't see Liverpool Football Club, who, in the grand scheme of things, are much bigger and are much financially better off than Sleep Token as a band are. They're a multi-billion pound entity worldwide, just as an example. You don't see Liverpool Football Club's legal team, of which they have a very, very good one, you can imagine, submitting copyright takedown strikes and claims against people making Liverpool tattoos. You've got to look at it in the grand scheme of things here, people. Other people that are very much bigger in size and entity and history and standing and all them words than the band are, they don't have an issue. Yet Rico Management are just going after so many different angles. It almost strikes me, and as I did think about this a while ago, obviously this is just my kind of opinion of spitballing and throwing it out there, I did wonder if someone from Rico Management at one point in time was maybe connected to the band, and the band have gone, fuck you, and they're just bitter, so now they don't want anyone to enjoy them, and they don't want anyone to actually be able to do anything, so they've set up this company. I mean, from my research, again, and I'm conscious about this video being super long, the registered office doesn't exist. In fact, the address provided in the email that I got way back when was registered to a laundromat, or laundrette in the UK, was registered to a laundromat in America. Like, and you looked at it, and I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a rundown building. Looks a bit like a drug front. Breaking Bad style, money washing kind of facility. It just kind of screams dodgy. Like, there's no way you can physically contact these guys apart from the Enforcement 1 and Enforcement 2 email. They demand money in the emails. So the emails that I got, they were asking for $250 for them to remove the claim and for $500 to reinstate the items that I was trying to produce. That's blackmail and extortion. So I don't think that's very legal. But they wrecked everything back at the time, and it was just like, yeah, whatever. I know that I did nothing wrong. I know that the band didn't mind and had no kind of issue with what was going on. And I know that people are still doing it now. It's never going to stop. But to kind of wrap this video up and to kind of give like an updated take on it, what they are doing is wrong. It is not off the back of the band, for as far as I can actually say, because, you know, we all know they're a very secret entity and stuff like that. But what I can say, and what I can confirm, is that their management have already told Rico Management themselves to leave alone tattoo artists, cosplayers, anyone making fan art. So there's a big banner under that of fan art. You can't just close someone's channel down because they drew a picture of Vessel. Like, that's just pathetic. You can't do that. And yeah, believe it or not, music reactions are in that bubble. It's which I kind of find in just insane, but it all does come under the fair use of YouTube. What we do is transformative. In my particular space now, we transform the original piece, or we don't use the video, and it's made purely as promotional content. Like, always demonetized. Like, always, I have always not tried to put monetization on them videos. And again, we could go on, and there's different kind of ways that we could spiral off of this and things like that. But to kind of be blunt, Rico Management, for as far as I can tell and from what I can see, are a third-party company lodging fraudulent takedown requests for people that have been instructed by the official management company that represent the band. Yeah. They're a third-party fraudulent company. You've only got to go and do your... Frank, don't ever have a pug in your trying to record these videos. You've only got to go and try and look them up as a company. They're very, very sketchy. They're very hard to find. Their address makes zero sense. They try to extort over email. And I went back to them and was like, well, go on then. And nothing happened. I challenged them and was like, go on then. Take it to court. Take it to court. Nothing. But we wouldn't drop the copyright claim. I'm very, very happy for that Instagram profile now that has just had the claim removed. Whether or not she gets her account back, we're going to see, aren't we, in the next couple of days. But from social media's perspective, people really should start becoming employed as a human view for these, or have a department that you can actually escalate up the appeal to, like you can with YouTube, to a point. But yeah, I wanted to re-record that, put kind of my thoughts out again, and just say that as far as I'm concerned, and as far as my knowledge and my connections and the people I've managed to speak to, they are not officially affiliated in any way, shape or form to RCA Records, to Future History Management, and they are certainly not the band. So all these claims coming through, if you see the name, if you happen to get one and it says copyright name, Sleep Token, appeal the shit out of it and start posting it on social media and tagging other fans and getting some hype around it. And maybe, just maybe, that there might be the last we see of them, because this is just being withdrawn now from this tattoo artist by the management company. So fair play to Future History Management. Please, people, don't go and hate on the band. I want to end this video with that, because a lot of people I've seen in comments on different forums and threads and stuff are attacking the band, and they're saying that if it's the band, they should go fuck themselves. Trust me, it is not the band. The band have just finished a tour. The band have been on stage performing when this was going on. I seriously doubt a band of this size and of that caliber has the time to go, well, and we're on stage in 5 minutes, let me just strike this tattoo artist. It makes zero sense. They would never do that. The fans of the band, promoting the band, making the band bigger, keeping them in the spotlight, keeping them making music, keeping them around, which is obviously what we all want as fans. So that's just kind of my updated take on it. If you want me to speak about anything else, or there's things I might have missed from this re-recording of this video, please drop it down in the comments. I will try and reach out to certain people. I will try and speak to people. And again, I am limited to what I can say in certain regards. If someone tells me something in confidence and says, you cannot say that on the internet, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I have to, think of my own reputation as well, and my own relationships and connections that I have. But from just as a point of re-recording this video, yeah, Rico Management, they're just a fraudulent third-party copyright company that are launching incorrect claims without credible evidence, without even taking it to the first steps of enforcing copyright law. So yeah, I will leave it there, people. Thank you very much. I will speak to you all on the next video. Take care, and yeah, bye for now.